Hi, I'm Natalia and welcome to my channel. Today's video is, and it's a question that I get quite a lot, and it's come from a member of my community. She's asked me, it's a really common fat loss query, why she can't lose any weight. So the question she's asked me, she's put, Nat, here's one for you, please be gentle. I've tracked everything for 3.5 weeks and I've eaten between 1,200 and 1,300 calories a day. My steps are at 14,000 to 20,000 a day. I've only lost £8, which has all come off, it came off all of a sudden, then no weight loss for a week and a half. My clothes feel a bit better, but there's no changes. My stomach, legs and arms, there's no change. Please help, I really need to lose more. I've got my brother's wedding in 5 weeks. Right, okay. This is a really, really common issue that most people face. And what you have to understand with this challenge that many of you facing is you're listening to the mainstream narrative, calories in, calories out, eat less, move more. And obviously if that theory worked, you should be like a rake by now by eating 1,200 to 1,300 calories a day, because that's basically the same amount of food as a toddler requires. So what I'm going to discuss with you is the reasons why you can't lose weight. We're going to explore what sort of things that we can look at in part of what you're doing, and then work out a plan. Okay, so in the first instance, we're going to look at what you're eating for this 12 to 1,300 calories, how much you're eating. I know we've said a calorie amount, but we want to know physically how much you're eating of each different macronutrient, and also we want to know the time you're eating. Now, the reason why all these factors are important is because if you are a person who has got any amount of excess weight on them, or belly fat in particular, the issue is you are insulin resistant, okay? Insulin is a fat storing hormone. So whenever your insulin is raised, your body, no matter what, will not lose any fat. It cannot tap into the unlocked energy stores. Now, what is insulin? So basically, when you're eating a meal, or when you eat anything, when you eat or drink anything, it spikes your blood sugar. So when your blood sugar is spiked, okay, your insulin level rises to meet the level of it. Okay. So when your insulin is high, any food that you eat at that point will get put straight into storage. So if you are eating several times through the day, your insulin is constantly being spiked. So there's no point during that day where your insulin has been able to balance off so that your body can start burning through its fat stores. So if you are only eating 12 to 1,300 calories a day, as I said, the first thing I would look at is, are you actually eating 12 to 1,300 calories a day? Are you tracking everything? Because if you think you're only eating 12 to 1,300 calories a day, but you are having a glass of wine, or you're having the ketchup on your sauce with your sauce, or you're having extra bits and pieces, or you're just estimating, you might not be eating that amount. And then if you are eating more calories, then that's the obvious way of you're eating more than you're burning off. But what it seems to me, if you are being rigid, it's the frequency of the food and the proportions of what food it is on your plate. Now, what causes the insulin spikes and the blood sugar changes? It's when you're eating a carbohydrate rich meal. Okay, so when you're eating carbohydrates, that's what causes the blood sugar spikes. This is what causes the energy crashes. So let's say, for example, you're used to eating, let's say you're on a high carbohydrate diet, so usually you have like a lasagna for your dinner. So if you've eaten a lasagna every day for the last week, and then today you don't eat a lasagna, your body is preempting that you're going to eat a lasagna, so it raises your blood sugar and your insulin in response to what it thinks that you're going to do. And that's why you get these cravings when you're trying to this is why you get the cravings. So in order to manage your insulin levels, you need to look at what it is that you're eating. So if your 12 to 1,300 calories is just literally a plate of pasta, it's a fully carbohydrate loaded meal. That's just going to cause one massive insulin spike. Now, if you're eating 12 to 1,300 calories across the course of a day, You know, each time that you're eating something, your insulin's being spiked. So again, so back to this situation, if you are only eating 12 to 1300 calories and you're not losing any weight, it's because you're eating too regularly. Now, I can do 12 to 1300 calories in a day, but I'd eat it in one meal, and that meal would be high protein and hardly any carbs in it. So my body will then be using all the protein in it for muscle repair. It's going to eat all the fat for fuel, and then, you know, there's no reason, the carbohydrate isn't raising your insulin level and causing any sort of isn't causing any, you know, the storage, the fat storage. So if you've got your plate of food and it's 12 to 1300 calories, like I said, we're looking at the ratio of what it is you're eating. I would look at that plate of food, remove all the carbohydrates from there and just focus on increasing the amount of protein. If you really can't stick to a totally low carbohydrate diet like I do, reduce the amount of carbohydrates you're eating to a very small amount. Make sure that the meals that you are eating are high in protein. Now, depending on what sort of plan that you're going to go on, what I do is I don't eat the carbohydrates at all. I keep them very low, and it's just easier for me to tap into the fat storage. If you are wanting to keep carbohydrates in, you need to keep them extremely low, and you need to make sure that you're eating more protein and fat, because the goal here is we're needing to unlock your energy sources from your existing fat. You don't need extra calories from the food. So you don't need the extra glucose from the carbohydrates. The glucose in the carbohydrates is what causes your blood sugar to spike, and that's what everybody else says, you know, is the energy that you use to fuel your body, which it does for a lot of people until you become fat adapted. Like I said, I'm at a point now where I'm fat adapted, so my body burns off its fat. So my body is working for me. So in order to get your body fat adapted, you need to be able to tap into your existing fat stores. So the way that you do that is by reducing your insulin. You reduce your insulin by reducing the amount of carbohydrates that you're consuming. That's the fastest way to lose any weight, and it's what I've done, and it works. Now, for people say, oh, it's all water weight, obviously there's going to be a certain amount of water weight, because carbohydrates, for each gram of carbohydrate you have, it clings another 4 grams of water to it. So when you've eaten carbohydrates and you feel fat, puffy, bloated, it's not fat, puffy and bloated, it's actually all the water sucking into your cells, and it does give you that, you know, that fat, bloated appearance. So to get rid of that, just remove the thing that's causing it, which is the carbohydrates, or again, keep it very low. Now, another thing is as well, so eating late at night. So if you're eating late at night, even if you are only eating your 12 to 1300 calories, it's raising your insulin overnight, so that while your body's sleeping, it's still working. Your digestive system is working, and it's, you know, in that time while you're asleep, you should really be burning off the calories that you've eaten through the daytime. So just to summarise, the reason why you're not losing any weight on 12 to 1300 calories a day doing all those amount of steps, I would seriously look at the food that is on your plate. The ratios of your protein, most people have loads of carbohydrates, a tiny little bit of protein, no fat at all. That's totally the wrong way that you need to be eating if you're wanting to lose fat. You need to up the protein on your plate. Eat the protein first. You'll find that you'll be full quicker. If you are only eating 12 to 1300 calories, I would rather you eat it in one meal, and then that would be considered to be like a 1 meal a day fasting. If you're eating 12 to 1300 calories over the course of like a day, trying to split it up, your body is in starvation mode because it's not fully truly satisfied. So it's like you're eating a bit of food, and then because you're not fully satisfied, you're thinking about the next meal. So, you know, you're eating again a snack a bit later on. So your insulin's going like this all the time. So even though you're only eating 12 to 1300 calories, there's no break through the day where your body's being able to just burn off that and burn through the fat stores. So the short answer to that question, how to lose weight fast: lower your insulin, eat 1 meal a day if you're only going to be eating 12 to 1300 calories, or split it over 2 meals. I wouldn't say increase any of the steps because you're going to end up burning yourself out, but the key is to keep control of your insulin. So again, just to repeat in case you missed it, reduce the amount of carbohydrates you are eating. Don't eat carbohydrates after a certain time in the day, probably around about tea time. Give your body enough time to burn off what it's doing. And then with the steps that you're doing, if you just implement the 1 meal a day, like I've said, with those calories, the weight will drop off you. If you've got any other questions with regards to this subject, write in the comments. Let me know any fat loss challenges that you're facing. If you want me to assess your diet, any questions, let me know and I'll be able to do a video response to you as well. Thank you for watching.